to bring them up to date on what we're doing, what we've done, how far we've come. We've done a lot. It is such a big problem. It's not a quick fix, but we are working steadfastly on it. All right. I'm going to sort of segue into expungement, unless you want to add anything, Jamie. Okay. I was really hoping Miguel would be here for this because he and Don and our other records department people are spending hours and hours and hours every week on this project. So what happened was about a year and a half ago, the Supreme Court said when marijuana becomes legal in the state, every court must purge everything to do with the marijuana conviction, which is reasonable. The directive from the administrative office of the courts was all your convictions should be expunged. The defendants do not apply or ask for expungements. And we have 2 years from when we got this directive to complete this. So that will be the end of this June. We're supposed to have it done. I don't think any court anywhere in the state is going to meet that deadline. It is such a big project. So, because if you think about it, sometimes people were convicted of possession of a marijuana pipe. That's got to go too. So it's just very time intensive. We've got to quash all those warrants. Since Dawn is a bit of an expert on this, I'm going to turn it over to her. I'm just going to say that last January, based on what the administrative office of the courts told us to do, I created a fairly lengthy order, but essentially said court staff shall review every previous citation in its records for possession, delivery, manufacture of paraphernalia, and determine by the text of the citation whether the paraphernalia was used with any illegal substance other than cannabis. And that's got to be completed by June 28th. Every citation going back to the creation of the earth we have to look at. And you can't do it with a computer program. We have to pull everything because sometimes there's a conviction on a docket number for possession of cannabis and resisting, evading, obstructing an officer. We can't eliminate the whole docket, only that one about cannabis. Our records people are just killing themselves trying to meet that deadline. So kudos to you, Dawn. Take it away.
Judge Goldbaum, you have covered everything that I was going to talk about.
Well, let me bring up Miguel's beautiful slide, because they are lovely what he did. Oops, I'm going backwards. Okay, so I think you can read these with me. I don't want to read them to you. I did want to mention one other tangential thing, which is that in 2012, the municipal court went through a conversion process when it went from software called Full Court to the Tyler encode system. That conversion project was huge. It took many, many months to try and scan all those dockets. A few things were lost, and some things before that period, we have no idea what those citations say. We can't necessarily pull up those citations. So we are trying to be as diligent as we can. It is a huge and rotten job to pull every single case in municipal court ever and look for those dockets or convictions, and then we're altering a public document. So what we have to do is make a note. We can't give this information out. It's expunged, except we can't expunge it because the computer won't let us and because that would be altering a public docket. But we're making notes so that if we get a phone call from a potential employer, we can say with a clear conscience, there are no marijuana convictions. Okay, and obviously you can see that something like a pipe that you smoke could be used for cannabis, but it could also be used for a number of other illegal things. And we are trying to parse those out. So, Don, you don't want to say anything? You can speak from there.
So my staff and I have broken this down into
Excuse
four.
me, Don. Can you just state your name and your position, please? Yeah, thanks.
Dawn Schultz, Court Manager for Las Cruces Municipal Court. And we've broken down this project into 4 phases. The first one consisting of identifying the cases with outstanding warrants and quashing those to prevent someone from being wrongfully arrested or detained. And then we have phase 2, which is the phase that we're currently in and is the most time consuming. This consists of researching all paraphernalia cases to determine if it was related to the use of cannabis, like Judge Goldbaum said. It also consists of researching all related dockets having multiple charges and identifying which cases will require redactions. We currently have 2 full-time employees in our records department, and we're in the process of bringing on 2 additional employees. Phase 3 will consist of expunging the records in our computer system and then the physical redaction of the information in the court's records. Phase 4 will involve the securing or destruction of the records in accordance with state and local policy. That's all I have.
So regardless of how you feel about the legalization of cannabis, I'm guessing you never thought about what would go into trying to get it off someone's record. I certainly never did until this thing slammed us, and it's so huge, but we're doing our best. I'm a little bit counting on the fact that the Supreme Court is going to hit June 28th and say, nobody's done. Maybe we need to give them more time, and maybe we need to give them more direction. But that is what that is. All right. Oops. Something is missing.
You want to take a quick break so council can ask you some questions?
Sure. Oh, wait, is that, no, I'm missing some slides that are important. Oh, well. Yeah, I'll try and answer questions, and if I don't have the answer at hand, I will try to get it to you, and if you have questions that I don't include in my presentation, I'll try to get those to you too. You can email me. So.
Okay. All right, so Councilor Bencomo?
Thanks, Mayor, and thanks
And
for
Councilor Beta.
the pause to ask some questions. Thank you, Judge Goldbaum, for joining us.